Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Faith, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, S-K-O-O-L, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Good evening and welcome. I'm hoping that good grief, should be on. Looks like my whole body got distorted. Welcome. I'm glad you've joined me. We're here to fight CPS and stop taking our children. I'm Bob Pace, your host. Okay. I'm still working on my computer. I thought I'd resolved it. I had a backup plan, but I couldn't get my son's computer to disengage his cam. He doesn't know what he has open, so I couldn't go there. Now, let me tilt this. Maybe that's better. I think that's better. If I tilt it a little bit. There we go. Okay. It looks like I'm in the picture okay. Well, welcome, a warm welcome. I'm not sure if I could be able to type because somehow this computer I have it's a good computer. It's got either a virus, I checked for it, or Trojan or something that every time I thought it was heat, but every time that I come on, it starts typing automatically by itself, and it spaces my letters when I try to type. At first, it's okay for the first couple minutes. I'm able to get myself on, and that's why I was on standby there. But you've reached a live podcast, and I'm so glad that you've joined my podcast because I want to help you about CPS. That is the worst agency that I've ever come across. They're very corrupt. They're not in there for the best interests of the families. And you guys are all going through a horrible time. And I, too, was involved in CPS. Now, Mr. Davis was the gentleman that was speaking before me, and he was talking about how to fight CPS. He has on Saturdays at 9:30 a podcast where he answers questions to you guys that Zoom in. So you got to pre-register for that. Also pre-register for the schools so you know about other podcasts that are up and coming. They will reappear at the end of the show here again. So if you missed the links the first time around, they'll be again. Also, my 7 rooms have links to the show and to the podcast and stuff. So you can go there too. But you'll see that I have 7 Facebook pages and 1 YouTube, and they all tie into this room here. So no matter what room you're in, everything you type will come here, and I can answer it and so forth. And I made a little bit of changes tonight. I have my name up there. It says Bob Pace Fight, Save Our Families. I Forgot the word CPS. Oh boy. Bob Pace, fight, save our families. Well, okay. What I mean by that is the fight CPS. Now, if you haven't guessed what CPS is, I call it the Child Protection System. It's easy way to describe all the different acronyms of the child protection systems in every county and every state. It's a government agency that's mandated by Congress to protect our children from neglect and abuse. It's a part of social services. Not only are they supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse, they're supposed to also help you, families in need. If you need food, shelter, clothing, transportation, education for your children or yourselves, like parenting classes, medical for your family and you and so forth, and also help you find a job. So CPS has a lot of work to do, but I'm so sad to say that they're not going to do the work they're supposed to do. That's not every CPS agency, because I have met 3 social workers on here that did speak what they do and so forth. So I believe it's not everyone. But of the 700 people that I've talked to in all the different states, all 50 states, including Washington, D.C., and also around the 18 countries I've talked to, I've had people call in from South Africa, from Mexico City. I've had them text in. We have from Bangladesh to India to the Middle East, several countries there. Africa, 4 or 5 countries there. Europe, 4 or 5 countries there. Across the pond, North America, several countries there. South America, several countries. And the Pacific, Australia and New Zealand. And all of you have called in with something common. They broke up my family. They took my family apart when the kids weren't in danger. And I can relate to that because the same thing happened to me. I'm a family man. I'm not an attorney, but I'm a father of 6 children and over 42 years of marriage experience. And I've raised my children. All of them are over the age of 18 now. During my time with CPS, they were 9, 12, and 15. And the older children had already left the home when CPS stole my children. And unfortunately, it all came to play when I lost my job through no fault of my own in 2010. And did I realize, boy, I was hammered by a layperson, actually persons. They're my wife's father, mother, 3 sisters, and her brother. All were calling once a week, complaining that we were not taking care of the kids. They never liked me from the start. And that was like 30 some years ago. And they've always tried to take away our 3 young, beautiful children that my wife and I have. She has 2 other children that I've been raising. One I met at 5, the other one I met at 20. And then, of course, my firstborn one was 3 at the time. So that's our sort of family or so forth like there. But CPS was not nice, not honest. My children were not in danger, but they were taken and put into danger. They were trafficked into foster care. They were alienated from the parents. I'm thankful to have them back. And big kudos go to Mr. Davis. You know, he does this a lot of free of his time. It isn't all about money. He too was once in foster care, and his mother was taken from him. So he knows the experience. There's so many beautiful people here that have had a lot of, bad growing up in foster care and then continued on to have children themselves, and then their children were taken. That's the hard thing. That was the sad part. Their children were taken. And there's one particular lady in Richmond, Kentucky. Her name is Faye Manny, and she's been on my show numerous times. She's been with me, and she's a remarkable lady. She, too, was brought up in foster care 5 different times through her childhood and through her her early teenage years. She was molested and raped. She was sex trafficked. And her mother even tried to cause her firstborn to be put up for adoption. Not her firstborn, but her secondborn, her daughter. Her firstborn is a son that needs special needs son. He's now in his 20s, and she's trying to get him to be adopted. Welcome. We have somebody that just came in. It's from YouTube, I believe. The name is Freeman. And you're suffering for a long while, children. I am so sorry that you're hurting for a long time. Let me put up, when you go to text in the room, there's certain things I want to help you on. So a second way of interacting in this podcast is to type a message, which she did. All you need to do is ask a question or make a comment about CPS. Show your first name, your city or your county that the case is in, the state, and or the country. Some of you are from other countries. Be complete with your CPS case. You need protection again. Oh boy, that sounds terrible. That tells me terrible. Can you tell me a little bit about your story and what your first name is and the city or county you're from and the state? I was being a poet for you. Well, sweet. I love poetry. Hey, Amanda. I'm glad to see you again. Hey, Bob, this is Amanda. Amanda's from St. Louis, Missouri. All is well. Got some disturbing news today, but I still get through the situation. Jesse. Okay, glad to meet you, Jesse. And what city, state, and country you're from, or state you're from? Like to hear from there. Now, besides texting a message, you can also be a guest on my podcast. And to be a guest, all you're going to have to do is write an email to my producer, my show producer. Her name is Grace. And you text a message to her, grace@vincentwdavis.com. And you just pick one of the times I'm on. I'm on twice a day, 14 times a week. I'm on at morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time and nighttime 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And there are certain days, like on Saturdays and Sundays, I come on at 8. Saturday, Mr. Vincent has his show at 9:30. I don't want to infringe upon him. I want my people to go and hear his podcast. So I come on at 8 in the morning. On Sunday is church. I go to church, so I come on early there. Otherwise, I'll tell you about any other changes in time. So email to Grace and ask to be on my Wednesday show, my Monday show, my Saturday show, my morning show, evening show, and she'll take care of the rest. She'll give you a link to StreamYard, which is the application I use, and I broadcast it on YouTube. And I can take up to 9 of you. I can have 9 guests, including myself as 10. So I really like to see that in there. Now, another way, the fourth way to interact is to call me. I just put my phone number up. That means you can call me at 626-698-0990. Now, Freeman is Jesse. She's from Oregon, Douglas County. Okay, you're on the West Coast. So, Rosebud, Oregon, Douglas County. Roseburg. Okay, Roseburg. I thought you said Rosebud. That's the reservation that my great-great-grandmother's from in South Dakota. And so Jessie says she's planning on showing up there. I'm not sure where there is, but maybe you could elaborate. Been invited by Vincent. Oh, great. You've met Vincent. I'm so happy. You are a male, not a female. Okay, you're a male. That's great. Amanda says, I'll definitely be on there streaming with you. because the media communication degree that I got for is for nothing. Got to advocate for something. Okay, Amanda. And Jesse, okay, not I.E. Jess. Okay, so it's pronounced Jesse, I guess. Jesse. I'm probably pronouncing it there bad, Jesse, but it's Jesse, and you're a guy. I'm glad to hear that. And you're going to meet up with Vincent Davis. Do you know something about your case? And you're going to meet up in L.A.? Is that what you plan to do? So I welcome all you warmly. I've just told there are 4 ways to interact with this podcast. First way is you found the room, so that's good. And you can send me emojis like thumbs up, hearts, smiley faces. You can send me stars. Also, please check below if you want to follow me or if you want to be notified when I'm on. That would be great there. Okay, Jesse says Saturday thing. Hello, Lauren Collins. Welcome, Lauren Collins. And Lauren, where are you from? What county or city you're from? And I'm so glad to have you, Lauren. And I want everybody to understand that I have a lot of information about how to fight CPS. Vincent Davis, my attorney, is a licensed attorney. He's been doing it for 39 years fighting CPS. He's trained in juvenile family dependency law. That's the kind of attorney you need to find. My rule number 1 is you need to get an attorney. And a lot of you think the court appointed attorney or the public defender will help you. They really don't. They're only in there just to get the money. They're paid by social services. They have a caseload with 30 or more clients. So they're really not going to defend you that well. And they're not schooled in dependency law or family or juvenile. They're schooled in criminal law. And again, they work for social services, the CPS, the child protection system. And they're certainly not going to win your case because they can't spend the time because they have a caseload of 30 or more clients. And they won't come to your home. The only time you see them is the hearings. So you got to be very, very careful about them. You know, the child protection system wants you to have a court-appointed attorney or a public defender because if you do, the children do, they can manipulate the whole thing. Their only one thing, their goal is to make money off having your children into foster care. They have an incentive where they get lots of money by the federal government for putting kids into foster care, not family reunification. It seems like family reunification takes too long in the back seat. So President Clinton decided he thought he was helping out things. And so in 1997, he passed a bill called the Incentive Bill for CPS. And all that means is that they'll give an extra bonus to the CPS that puts them into foster care, not into family reunification, which is really sad, really, really sad. Okay. Lauren is from Fort Myers, Florida on the East Coast. Glad to have you, Lauren. Now, Jesse says, yep, okay. Amanda, what exactly is alternative care within CPS? Well, I'm not sure if nope, it won't work. I can't type it. I'm so sorry. I don't think it's going to work there. Nope. When I type in the search bar, it does not work. It automatically starts to move and I can't look it up for you. I'm so sorry. Alternative care is probably another way of how the children are taken care of. Now, Jesse says not really thinking they'd help. Who will not help? I need some help there, Jesse, so if you can tell me. Lauren from Florida, thank you. I've reached out to Vincent Davis and Georgette. Good, they're great people. They could care less, my regional council. Yeah, the regional council doesn't really care. I mean, I guess you're assuming the CPS in Florida is called the regional council. Is that what it is? And if it's looking like my computer's having issues, it is. I think I have a Trojan somewhere. Let me read in further here. Your regional council doesn't really probably care. Jesse says, I need you to tell me what they can do for me. I'll babysit them. I just got a new one. Don't need to hear the negative things. I don't want to think bad things. Okay, Jesse, I'm trying to understand. When you say they, who are you referring to? Are you talking about the CPS? Are you talking about my attorney, Vincent Davis? Or you said something about Saturday. You got a new one. And so I guess you got a new case. Don't need to hear the negative things. I don't want to think bad things. I don't blame you. CPS is awful. It's awful. But you have to understand how to fight them, how to work with them, Jesse. Now, Lauren says, my profile, my parents' hairdresser have been calling the CPS for me in jail. Wow. That sounds pretty heavy there. DCF, by the way, is Department of Children and Families, and I call that CPS for right now because there's so many you guys got different names. But anyway, they've been calling CPS for me in jail. Now, my son was removed in June 23. I didn't get a case plan for 7 months. Then a caseworker without my information up D. I don't know what it means by up D. Sometimes you guys are talking to me in riddles and I'm not very good, but I try my best. I want to help you, Lauren. So how did you end up in jail? How did you end up in jail? Up DU, Lauren says. Well, I'm going to leave. I wanted to hear good things. I have to tell public defender they're going to do. No, I don't want you to leave, Jesse. I have to tell the public defender that they're going to do. Positive thoughts, please. Well, I'm trying to be positive. One thing is really positive. You guys came to the right place to find out help. And I know CPS is very corrupt and not transparent. They also do a lot of things, too, that are bad. Well, I'm sorry to tell you about the public defender. You have to understand, my experience and over the 700 people that have talked in this room have had no luck with public defenders. The public defender, you need to have a real attorney, somebody like Mr. Davis, who is very well trained in juvenile and family and dependency law. And that's why I'm not saying you don't use a public defender, but you got to make them work for you. They're not going to help you in your CPS case. They just go with the flow of the court. Amanda says, I called the caseworker. Let me see. I called the caseworker, and the caseworker said she could not give me any type of info because of some type of open close law because of my kids were adopted and out of the system. Well, I think you're talking about your kids being out of the system, yeah, and being adopted. They're not going to be helpful for you. You need to go working with an attorney. You need to work with an attorney. Lauren Collins says, they put me up for adoption, to put her son up for adoption, or tried to charge the goal. Sorry, I accidentally sent it before I finished. What is the goal? I'm trying to understand. Yeah, hi, Tess. Welcome, Tess. You've been on the show before. How you doing tonight, Tess? Thank you. And Jesse says, sorry for trying to top off to rap with you about that. I'm going to try to make one work for me. I hope you do. I am positive. I'll pray for you, Jess. I'll pray for you. I do care what happens. I can tell you some good news about how to do a 388 or what the Indian Child Welfare Act is of 1978, or how to do a 160 hearing, or how to make your case work. Jess, I'm totally not accepted the look of effectiveness. I'm totally not accept the lack of effectiveness. Okay, all right. And then we got Amanda. She said that she is the caseworker for children that has been adopted off the system and has guardianship. Okay. And Tessa, you're not good. See, Tessa, if I remember correctly, has a disabled issue. She has seizures, and they mistakenly thought her seizures were trying to harm her children. And I'm sorry to hear that. Jess says, just got a new one this morning. Okay, great. You can keep getting public defenders. You don't like the way they perform, get another one. And I hope that works out for you. I really do. It is awful hard to pay money. I had to sell my home to hire Mr. Davis. And can I call in tonight? Sure can, Tessa. I'd love to hear from you. I love to hear from you. Anybody can call in. My number's been up. They are fired. They quit with or against me. They are fired. They quit with me or against me. You know, it is really hard. I mean, it really is. But if you call in, anybody that calls in on my phone, or anybody that is a guest on my show and talks, I will give you a free 15-minute time with Mr. Davis. That means you can talk to him for 15 minutes. And so, one moment, please. I need to, one of my family members came home. I need to. Okay, Amanda says, okay. She said that if my kids were adopted or have legal guardianships, I don't have the right to none of that paperwork. Well, you know, that's strange because you should be there. Hold on one second here. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I have Tessa on the line. Wanted to speak with you.
Sure. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Who's on the phone? Tess?
Hello?
Is Tessa?
Hi, Bob. Yeah, this is Tessa.
Yeah, you're supposed to call the other number, the 626-698-0990. The number you called, the 888 is my office. So you just forward to call, but that's okay.
My mistake.
That's okay. I have two numbers up there. For some of you, and let me tell this to everybody, I have two numbers up there. My number to my direct phone line is 626-698-0990. The office is 888-6582. That's if you want to retain Mr. Davis or get another attorney. So that is the office there. So I'm so glad that you are calling in, Tessa. What would you like to talk about?
Well, I thought I'd share a little bit about what's going on with my case.
I'm sure the group would like to hear it. Yes, go ahead.
So, me and my husband have been homeless for a while, and we've been working with the county to get placed. And they placed us in a place called Lakehead.
Now, where are you?
In Northern California.
I know you're in Northern California. Where are you originally? This case was it Merced or Shasta?
Shasta.
Shasta. Okay, right. You're from Shasta, California. Okay, for all my listeners, we have Tess from Shasta, California, that has been homeless, and your child was taken from you because you had a severe attack of seizures, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
What happened is that the people investigating did not realize that and took her child away because she thought she was endangering the child with her attack of seizures. Her husband was trying to help her, but I guess they mistook that not as help then.
No, the neighbor called the cops and said that my husband was beating me, but this neighbor does not even know me at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know my name.
Okay. Let me answer Amanda's question. She wants the paperwork and she doesn't have the legal rights. You can go ahead to St. Louis, Missouri, to the Capitol and ask for the ombudsman or the civil rights coordinator and say you'd like to request the documents. Those documents you can get there. I don't know why they're making it an issue, but they are trying to make your life miserable. Also, I'm afraid to say you need to get an attorney to help you. This is the problem. We as lay people are trying to work the legal system, and it's really hard. If I knew what I know now, 15 years ago, I would never have had my 3 young children stolen from me, taken from me, or trafficked into foster care. It's like you have to learn a lot there is to know. And so, Amanda, you should get your paperwork. Now, Jesse, who's from Freeman, says, "Sweet, okay, I'm glad you like that." And then he says, "I'll call you." Well, as soon as Tess leaves off, you're the next call in line. Then, Jesse, you can call me. Okay, now, go ahead with your story here, Tessa.
Well, we've dealt with CPS in the past, and we didn't get to reunify in that case because this social worker has a reputation as being a very evil individual. She's very hard to work with. She's very hard to please. And they've now handed our case over to her. And I literally just got done telling my attorney if my case gets handed over to her, my chances of reuniting with my son are like 1 in a million.
Why is that?
I found out maybe.
Why would you think Why do you think it's 1 in a million? Just because your children are in custody with CPS, have they terminated your rights?
No. They're trying to do something called a bypass, and I didn't quite understand what that was. But
I haven't heard of bypass before. It's like tonight.
She said it has something to do with the fact that I didn't reunify with my child in the past.
Well, what prevented you from reunifying with your child?
That social worker, and the fact that I don't have funds to obtain a paid attorney.
Oh, okay.
They really just made us jump through all the hoops and then said, well, it's not enough. And yeah, it was a really hard experience to go through. My child that they took away is now 2.5. So I fought that case for almost 2 years. but that case was closed before this ever happened. All my cases were closed.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. So what is your husband doing all this time? Why can't your child be returned to your husband?
Because we live together, and they see him as the danger because he's the one that the neighbor claimed saw beating me, supposedly.
Okay. Well, did you try to get
me because I live with my husband?
Yeah. Did you try to get doctors to testify in court that you have seizures? And
I have a signed letter from my doctor. We can't afford my doctor's a witness fee.
Well, you can be a subpoena. You can subpoena a person. They can't charge for it. You have to subpoena. That's something that lawyers know. But you can subpoena someone to be in court, and you don't have to compensate them.
Okay.
But you have to know the proper
have to talk to my
paperwork.
attorney about that.
Yeah, this is the problem, is people don't know about the laws of the court. The laws of the court are very severe. They're very hard. Fighting CPS is like
That's
open
why
heart
I've been
surgery.
watching your show. I've been trying to take notes and pay attention to everything you tell people. I'm not missing something.
Yeah, it's like fighting, like doing open heart surgery is fighting CPS. You are. It's very complicated.
Really
you can imagine opening up a body cavity and taking the heart and do what you need to do on the heart. That takes a lot of skill training, a lot of education. That's the same thing goes for CPS. It takes a skilled attorney to fix your heart or to get your kids back.
It does. I'm trying to look into paid attorneys around me, see if I can work a payment plan with somebody, because I'm extremely low income, but maybe somebody will help me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Still perseverance. Now, Lori Collins had just said her dad put her in there was before my son was removed because I was on illegal substance. I've been sober for 8 months. I started out my substance abuse program before I received a case plan. Well, it's okay. I mean, if you have a drug problem, you can fix that. You can take a program that does it. And CPS should try to help you, Lauren Collins in Florida. They should help you before you're there. Now, Jesse says, Freeman, they moved the good posy on het. Oh boy, I quite not to make that. So Lauren further says, I'm going to have to sell my house too, but it's worth it. CPS. Yep. I'd worked 45 years for my house. And at age 60s, I started being investigating by CPS because my in-laws, my wife's parents and her mother, her father, mother, and 3 sisters and brothers were once a week for 5 years saying stories that were not true. And I proved them wrong. They finally got so frustrated in 2015, they got a hold of the police and had a detective find out my routine and then had me pulled over and told me I had to go to my home. And in the front of my home, and I lived in a private neighborhood, there was like 9 people, 10 people out there. There was 5 firemen, 2 code enforcement, 3 social workers, 2 uniformed policemen, and the detective. And I thought maybe my house had burned down or someone broke into it. But apparently they wanted to go inside and see it, and they really couldn't find anything. They were searching my house from top to bottom. But they came to the conclusion that the belongings I had from my mom and dad, who my dad died recently, and my mom is slowly dying, I was putting the belongings with family members my dad requested. So I had them stacked in the living room. But each of my 3 children had their own room. own bathroom. The house was fine. There was plenty of food and stuff. So this is the problem with lay people. And I started off with a public defender, and it got worse and worse and worse. Also, when you have an attorney, be advised. You cannot speak in court. You have to speak through your attorney. So when you have a public defender, your hands are tied. Now, I'm not saying go out there and pro se, meaning defend it yourself, because it can be quite cutthroat, because the attorneys will eat you up alive because you don't know dependency law. Let me see. Amanda has something further to say too. Hold on. My computer's been attacked, and I've been trying to move it. My mouse moves further, and the wording doesn't do right. The bypass is when they're trying to basically get guardianship. Swift, it is in a hurry, and with gaining probate as well. Well, you need to stop that. You need to put an appeal in there, and you need to have your attorney stop that. You don't want that, Amanda. You don't want that. And I'm sorry, Lauren Collins, I know you have a broken heart and a sad face. It's not fair. I know that about house. I had worked 45 years for my house, and I had to sell it, quick sale, so I could hire an attorney to save my family. Now, Jesse says they'll be going down, or at least the bad applies takers out. Okay, that's a good post. All right. And Lawrence says, I can't find an attorney here unless CPS was involved. I feel that my son is legally kidnapped. Yep, they do that legally. They do legal trafficking, which is illegal. They'll alienate you. They'll steal your children. I know how hard it is.
That's what we're afraid of happening. There's a woman that has custody of 2 of my husband's children, but aren't related to him at all.
Really? How'd she get custody?
Through his ex.
Wow. The world is really a strange place. I've heard so many bizarre stories. And if I had to do the whole thing over again, my children would never have been taken from my home. You know, my rule number 3 says you don't talk to the police. You don't talk to the social workers. You don't let them in your home. You don't answer the door. That's my rule number 3.
They took my child out of the home with a warrant that didn't even have the correct address on it.
Yeah, the warrant, they use bogus warrants too. That's the only way. Well, if you give them permission, or someone in the home gives permission, they can. And if they're in danger, like domestic violence has taken place and a child in danger, they'll come in. They'll come in. Now, Lauren Collins is asking.
They came to my sister's home. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Lauren, I'm trying to understand. Did you have to reopen your case? Are you talking to me? My case was never reopened. I just had to fight it for 3 years with my attorney. We got my 2 boys back, but lost my daughter to retaliation. Let me see here. Jesse, who's Freeman, CPS moved the goal post on the collar, typical textbook, CPS handbook, chapter page 3. Yeah, I know all the handbooks. There's a lot of them around. Amanda, I'm just now finding this out, since I've been doing my investigations. Really went wrong with the case. So this was new to me yesterday. I'm so sorry you find these things out, Amanda. It really is. And then Lauren says, how do I call? Well, you can talk to me after Jesse wants to call in. And right now I have Tessa on, but you can call me in the morning, or you can be better yet. I can go ahead and have you be a guest on my show, and I can have 9 of you. All you have to do is send an email to my producer, Grace at VincentWDavis.com, and tell me you want to be on my morning show, my afternoon show, Sunday or Saturday or Monday or Tuesday. And that's how you can get in. That's the better way to do it. And don't forget, if you guys call in or you're a guest, you qualify for a free 15-minute private Zoom call with Mr. Davis, which I think is pretty good there.
Well, that's nice to know.
Like if you wanted to talk to Mr. Davis, I can set that up with you, Tessa.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah. All you have to do is
amazing.
text me to my number, 626-698-0990.
Let me grab a pen.
It's the same number. It's the number. Okay, let me put the number back up there because let me go ahead and put that number back up there. Okay, I got the number up you can text to. I got the number you can text to.
Go ahead.
It's 626-698-0990. All I need is your full name, your email, and your phone number.
Can you say that one more time for me?
Sure.
Your phone's cutting out pretty bad.
Yeah, it's 626-698-0990.
Okay, I got 666-698-0990.
We'll start at the beginning. It's 626.
626.
698-0990.
Got it.
Okay?
And you said my name?
I'm sorry, what?
You said my name and what else?
Your full name, your phone number, and your email.
All right.
And Lauren Collins, you can do this. Lauren Collins, you need to contact my show producer at Grace at W. Davis. It's Grace at VincentWDavis.com. And Lauren, you could be on the show too. I mean, you can call in on the phone there. So, Lauren, if you want to be on my show, call in and you want to email Grace. Let me put that up for you. So, all you do is you send an email to my producer, Grace at VincentWDavis.com, and you can be a guest on my show. What Tess is doing is something different. After you're on my show, or if you call in, you're entitled to a free 15-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis. No charge. Now, at the bottom of my screen, if you want to talk longer than 15 minutes, you want to do 60 minutes, 30 minutes, it will only cost you $60 for 30 minutes. You have to go to the website, though. You have to go to the website that I've arranged there. Now, Jesse said, do I still qualify? Do you have some Vince time enough to do that for me? Jess, if you are a guest on my podcast tomorrow, the next day, or if you call in and speak, yes, you're entitled to that. You're entitled to that. And if Tess, you still want to talk some more, right, Tess?
Well, if you want to let me go, I'm actually getting ready to go to bed.
Okay, Tess, why don't you go ahead and hang up, and then that Freeman can call, okay? He's next in line.
That sounds good, and I can always jump on another time.
Yes, you can always welcome my show twice a day, 14 times a week. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you
so much, Mr. Pace.
God bless you. God bless you. Okay, my phone line is open, and you can call in on my number there. All you do, Jess, is call 626-698-0990. And I can talk to you, and you can qualify for that free time. You are next to call. I know you're sad for Tessa. I am too. Tessa is homeless. She had a seizure. Her husband tried to help her with her seizure. A neighbor called and said that she was that her husband was beating up on her and their whole family was torn apart. Yes, you can call me while watching the show. That's no problem. Just turn down your volume a little bit so it doesn't echo. That's sweet. Tessa says, thank you, Lauren. Yes. Lauren says to the woman speaking. And Tess says, thank you, Lauren. Thank you. That was you, Tessa. That's right. Hello, Alex. That's TechCom. Hello, TechCom. You're Alex. And again, I forgot where you're from. I'm thinking it's Los Angeles County, California. Alex, am I right? Okay, it's all yours, Jess. Freeman's going to call in. Jess is going to call in. Yep, LA County. I remember. Good one here. It's Alex. So welcome, TechCom. Now, right now, we have about 9 minutes left of my podcast. So we got some people interested in calling and being a guest on my podcast. Lauren says, never been in a chat like this before, but calling would be much more simpler. Okay, that's perfect. And then she said, okay, I love it. Thank you. All right, I'm going to show the number again, Jesse. Go ahead and call in. The number is there, 626-698-0990. This is an interactive podcast. You text me messages about questions or comments about your CPS case. I will try to help you. Other people in this room will help you. Okay. Welcome. This is Bob Pace.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah. Hi, Jess. Glad to hear from you.
No, this is Phil.
Oh, who is Phil?
I'm from LA County. I got to experience.
Oh, right. You're TechCom, right? Let me.
No.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Hello, Bob Pace.
Hello.
Yeah, is this Jesse? Hello. Hello, Jesse.
Hi. Sorry, I couldn't even. I was like trying to. The screen's really when it gets minimized. I couldn't read the number, so.
Okay.
Like, say it slowly, and you said it fast again. I'm like, oh darn it.
Yeah, it is all right. Phil just called in before you, so I put him on hold. You're up on the phone now, so you can talk right now.
Okay. I don't know. I was just trying to get the 15-minute hookup or whatever.
Do you want to share? Do you want to share anything? With
I
the
was
listeners? Go
just
ahead.
saying that I got that public defender fired, or they quit on me last time because I was, trying to make them do their job, and then I got this next one. I was trying to, reiterate. I'm like, you got time, trying to make sure, And she sounded like kind of a little bit like the last one, but I'm just trying to keep my hopes up and hopefully,
I know you are. I know you are, and I had my hopes up too, but I was realizing once I started being involved with CPS, it got worse and worse.
Well, maybe I'll have it better. Maybe because you guys are, looking out. Your guys' experience is going to be, you guys are sharing it, so I'm maybe be able to take from what you earned,
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, there's things I would never do. I would never open my door to anybody. I have my family and friends with special knocks or special door rings before I answer my door because too many people are being killed when they open the door. I had a guy in Gainesville, Florida. He was talking to FaceTime with his girlfriend. He died dying in her with the call. That was the last his girlfriend had. I mean, that was sad. I don't know how sad. It was a mistaken identity. They were at the wrong apartment. And the policeman shot. So I just tell people, there's nothing wrong with not answering your door. You're not required to open that door. Even if they have
knocking on my door, I don't know them. My door is open to everybody I know. Go come on in. But I mean, if my door's knocking, then I'm not. That's somebody I don't know.
Well, CPS, you don't know. The police, you don't know. And they're just going to have something there. Yeah, and if they come into your home, then they open up a whole can of worms. So, my problem was.
Answer or let them in, no way.
Yeah. So my problem was I did that. They have to have a warrant, and the warrant's got to be corrected warrant, a legal warrant. There's a lot of fake ones going around, and
I heard that. Yeah.
They use copies. They use copies
without a signature.
Right. They use copies from other cases. They won't show it to you. They use the dates are wrong. Like, for instance, the dates for the weekend, and the court's not open on the weekend. And also, they use the weekdays like a holiday. Court's not open on holidays, so you can tell real quickly how fake that warrant is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially if the signature is not a wet signature and it's not with a stamp over it where it's raised up. Right. It's very hard. Once they take that hand stamp and raise the paper up with that lettering and the wet signature, there's no way you're going to fake that one.
Oh, you burned my food.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm good. Yeah, that's a good tip right there. Good looking out. I never thought of it. I mean, make sure it's a raised. We gotta be able to authenticate signatures. Is how awesome the law is.
Well, I hate to say it, they lie. They're not transparent.
I know.
And they lie so bad. You go on the internet and search the internet, you'll see how much they lie.
Right, and it's like it's giving me PTSD. All the lies. I don't know who I can talk to. You know what I mean? I'm afraid of the government now because of this. Couple social workers in a row now. It's got worse. They're supposed to be taking care of kids or protecting kids, and this is what they do. Lie.
They don't.
Right, they don't care about nothing. They're just
they don't.
Like a smile to your face.
Now, Techcom just said, I'm concerned the warrant that they showed me when they broke into my home. I don't know if it's a real one because I did not see a wet stamp.
Oh,
Probably wasn't. And Tessa says, mine didn't have a wet stamp either. She's the lady that just talked before you, Tessa. She's a homeless mother with seizures, and they thought her husband, who was trying to help her, was beating up on her.
Tell him I'd love to help you out with your investigation, but I think it goes against my constitutional rights.
Yep, you're right. You're right about that, Jess. Anyway.
I'm not signing nothing, and then they got my kid, and I'm doing the visits or whatever, and they're like, and I can't get any services because I'm not talking to the social worker.
Okay.
So I mean, it's just a bunch of crap they play.
Okay. Well, what I have to do now is wind down the show, but I want to invite you. You qualified for a free 50-minute consultation Zoom meeting with Mr. Davis. So all you have to do is that number you called in, the same number you would text me, your full name, your email, and your phone number, and I'll set you up, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. And please call in again and be part of my family here. God bless you. God bless you.
I will. I'll be thumbs up and liking your videos too.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry to keep you waiting there, Phil. Are you still there? Phil? Phil, are you still there? Somebody named Phil called me, area code 562. They've been on hold, but I lost them. Hello? Hello, Phil, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, is this Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you short, Phil. I'm doing a live podcast. I have people calling in. So
Yeah.
what can I do for you, Phil? What can I do for you?
Okay, well, I actually have a kind of a crazy story where I found out one day that after 18 years, I wasn't the guy of my wife's dreams. So what she did was, I find this out months later, that she was having an affair. She emptied my savings accounts, plural. I had about $84,000 in my truck savings for my business, and another $113,000 gone. She did all the finances. I was the guy out there doing all the jobs and plumbing and all that stuff. I'm a plumbing company. So anyway, she clears out my savings, and the only thing I have left, both my parents are dead. I don't have any family. There was a little bit of life insurance, a separate account. She got caught stealing that. So that was at one day, the day she filed for divorce. She tried to pull out $130,000 more on top of the other $200K she already took. And then, so they called me on that. And that's when everything changed. Her whole attitude, everything changed. So, long story short, I found out also a little later on that day that I also was about $120,000 in credit card debt that I knew nothing about. So, this kind of went on. I still tried to co-parent with our 13-year-old. And once we split, everything actually was really good between my daughter and I. It was great. But she started doing this parent alienation, which I know all about now. But what happened was I threatened to press charges because she kept doing this credit card fraud. She had opened up other credit cards in my name, and she refused to stop charging things on my credit. And she had her own credit cards and all this stuff, but so she refused to stop. So I said, I'm gonna press charges. Well, that was the worst thing I could have done because she beat me to the punch. So she makes a call to the police and says that I threatened to kill her over the phone call, over a phone call. But my defense, I recorded all our calls for the last 8 months from that time. From the bank call all the way up to that. So I have all our calls recorded. Now here's the crazy part. She supposedly had witnesses. Her witnesses denied it. I know this because as I was arrested in the middle of the night by 2 SWAT teams, hauled off to jail in the middle of the rain barefoot. He allows my ex-wife to come into my house. They're standing in front of my doorbell camera having a conversation. He tells her, hey, I interviewed this person, they didn't back up your story, so they didn't substantiate the claims, and blah, blah, blah. It's not going to look good. Basically, he's saying the DA is going to throw it out. Well, so far that hasn't happened. But DCFS got involved. SWAT trashed my house, and I have all this on camera. I have a mountain of evidence, which I wasn't allowed to even show because the lawyer, remember she stole my savings. They had me go through 3 courts simultaneously: family court, dependency court, which is DCFS, and then the criminal court. So they were charging me with 422 APC, which is making a threatening phone call, and so that's that, and then an annoying phone call, which is 653M. So they're charging me with these things. He said, and I have all the body cam footage now, which is gold, because I can prove that she's lying about this, all the specifics. I have everything to prove. And they look up my criminal. They said, is there any history of domestic violence? None. Even the cop that she's interviewing her, she says, well, there's no history, there's no pictures, there's no injuries, there's no nothing. So she's telling her she's got none of that. She said, okay, well, let's see what his criminal background is. Maybe we can, because she believes her. She's trying to help her victims, she thinks. She doesn't know that she's actually put me in the hospital. Believe it or not. I got pictures of that. I have photos of her domestic violence. I've never put my hand on any woman. But so she ends up telling her, we'll see what we can find on his background. And I find out later, months later, the lawyer they assigned me with, the DCFS lawyer, kept me away from the trial. He had every court date I had was double booked in criminal court where I had to be. So I find out later that they had the whole trial without me. He didn't show one shred of evidence.
Wow.
And he didn't even look at any of the evidence that I could send him. So
Hey, Phil, I don't want to cut you short, but I'm after my time here. I'm supposed to end my podcast at 8:00. There's certain rules I have to abide by. But can we continue this conversation tomorrow morning or tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be on again at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Where are you located? What's your city and state? Where are you located? What's your city and state?
Whittier, California.
Okay, you're local here, right? LA County. Okay, you can call in tomorrow, and by you talking on the show, I'm also going to reward you because you can now get free 15-minute with Mr. Davis. If you like that. You like to speak to Mr. Davis?
I need to learn. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
Because you talked on the show, you can. So what I'm going to do now,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
what I'm going to do now is that number, 626-698-0990, the number you called in on, you can text me your full name, your email, and your phone number, and I'll set you up, okay? But you're part of the family here.
An iPhone?
Pardon?
Yeah. Can I send you video evidence? Can I send you video to the iPhone?
No, don't send anything. You don't need to send anything, Phil. All you have to do is talk to Mr. Davis, and maybe he can help you, okay, with your legal matters. It's only for 15 minutes,
All right.
but he's a real bona fide dependency attorney. Okay, so all you have to do is text me at 626-698-0990. But I do have to end the call. But thank you, Phil, and please be a part of my family. I look forward to hearing from you again, Phil. God bless you. Okay, we just finished the last phone call, and I've run late post my show here, Amanda. If you want to know what the stamp is, the stamp is there's a signature on the bottom page, and the clerk takes a hand stamp that raises the paper with verbiage on it, and the ink where the judge signs is mixed in with that verbiage, so it's very legit. So that's what the wet signature looks like. Now, Amanda says that same thing happened to me. I was not receiving any of the court dates, and then the trials were, everything was set. I was not involved. Basically says I didn't want my children. I'm so sorry, Amanda, but I do have to end the show. I want to thank Amanda from St. Louis, Missouri, Tessa from Shasta, Northern California, Tikkun from the LA County, California, Lauren from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We already talked about Tess and Amanda. Who else do I have? I don't know if I can scroll up because my Trojan has taken over my computer here, and I can't scroll up and see who is. But I want to thank all of you listeners for being a part of my family. And listen, I'll be again on tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Oh, excuse me. Correction. It's 8 o'clock. That's right. Saturday. I corrected myself. I'm going to be on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Saturday and Sunday, I'll be on at 8 o'clock. And again at nighttime, it'll be 7 p.m. So look forward to tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I want to thank you all. And please keep fighting for your kids. Don't give up. And come and see me as often as you can. God bless you. And this is Bob Pace signing off.
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, SKOOL, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.